Hey guys, welcome back to the last episode of the Breakout series, at least the officially last episode. We might consider creating some more after that, but yeah. So in this episode we're gonna create the lightning bow. Let's go straight into it. So I'll drag my bow, sorry. So I'll drag my bow prefab from the prefabs folder and create a particle system object, and yeah, let's configure it so it looks kind of like a lighting effect. So first thing we'll change is the start lifetime. I'll put it to 0.3. The start speed will be 3, and yeah, let's continue downwards. So I think here I'll just change this culling mode. Not that this is important, but yeah. And right, let's go to the emissions. Now let's increase the particle counts. Increased from 10 to 50. Alright, we have more particles. Let's now go and change the shape. So from cone I'll change to hemisphere, and this like more dispersing things. So I'll lower the radius to 0.01. And yeah, here the last thing that I'll change is the randomized direction. I'll put it to 1. Alright, let's continue on. The next thing is velocity over lifetime. I think you can skip this one because I'm leaving it here empty and that does nothing, so you can skip this step. And let's continue to color over lifetime. So here we will make our particles become yellow once they reach the edge of the hemisphere. So let me just pick the color and put a yellow color here. Okay. Now let's continue. Next important thing is size over lifetime. So here I'll just use this downwards curve and this and drag a little the input, the first parameter. So this will make our particles become smaller when they reach the edge. And yeah, all right. Think this. I think if I remember correctly, this is the all things that we need to do. Here in the render section, I'll just leave the default values. And yeah, the last thing is to lower the scale to 0.5 and make the whole effect smaller. And yeah, at the end we should have this particle that looks like a sparking, you know, this thing that we light in Christmas. So let's name it to lightning bow effect. And yeah, once we are done with this, just a second. Once we are done with this, I'll disable the lightning bow effect and update my prefab. Okay. Once we're done with this, I'll work on actually creating the power-up. So let's put my image for the lightning bow, and let's drag one of our previous power-ups, for example the extend paddle. I'll unpack the prefab completely and rename it to lightning bow. Let's change the graphic and use this lightning icon. And yeah, I'll remove the extend or shrink script, and let's create a new script. This one will be for the lightning bow. Okay. Once we are ready with this, I'll open Visual Studio and do the same thing as I did for the previous power-ups. I will make it inherit the collectible and implement the apply effect method. So what we need to do here, we need to iterate to all of our active bows and enable the lightning bow effect. So I will create a new method called start lightning bow. in the bow CS file, so let's go there and start working on this method. So first thing is to check whether or not our bow is currently a lightning bolt. So we are gonna only enable a lightning bolt if we are not a lightning bolt. So let's introduce new field called is lightning bolt. Okay, let's continue. So once we started enabling, we will set the is lightning bolt to true. And now I'll need a reference to my sprite renderer. So when we start the lightning bolt, I need to disable the graphics of the bolt. So I'll get the sprite renderer by using get component in children. Since my graphic is not directly in this object but in the children, let me just show you. So here in the graphics object, so that's why I need get component in children. Okay, once we have a reference to the sprite renderer, we will disable it. And that's great. What else? We also need to have a reference to the effect here, so we can enable it. The idea is we hide the graphics and we enable the effect only. So let me get a reference to the effect. So I'll create a new property, new field, particle system. Let's call it lightning bolt effect. And yeah, this one I'll wire it up in the Unity editor. So let's go there. And yeah, here when I record this, I got a little confused, so sorry about this, guys. But here in the lightning bolt, I'm adding the lightning bolt script, which is needed here. You can add it and not delete it. And here I'm, for some reason, deleting it. So sorry about this. But this one, the next one is also important. So here in the bow, we are gonna put a reference to the lightning bolt effect. Let me just give me a second. So I'll basically expand the bow and drag the lightning bolt effect, so we have a reference. And now I'll update my prefab. Okay, great. We can remove the bow, and as I mentioned previously, we'll put back the lightning bolt here. All right, no more confusions till the end, I believe. All right, let's continue. Once we know that lightning bolt effect will have a reference, it's not no, we can enable it here. So we can do this by lightning bolt effect.gameObject.set active to true. Okay, and one last thing, the same thing that we did with the extension and the shrinking, we need to start another coroutine that will count for 10 seconds, and after those 10 seconds have passed, we will reverse the lightning effect. So we will basically put the bow in its normal state. So let's instantiate this new variable, lightning bolt duration, which will keep track of the duration of the effect. So I'll create new private property called lightning bolt duration and set its value to 10. Okay, great. Let me now create this stop lightning bolt after time method. Okay, let's create private enumerator. And here I also got a little confused, so the method is not stop fireball after time, it's stop lightning bolt after time. But since I initially created it as a fireball, I got confused here, so it's stop lightning bolt after time. Okay, now here we are waiting for those seconds to pass by using ut return new wait for seconds and pass the seconds parameter. And after this is passed, we'll invoke not stop fireball but stop lightning bow. I'll rename it in just a second. So this method that is called, what we will do is to reverse this thing that start lightning bow has done. So let me just rename it here, stop lightning bow. And yeah, here we are gonna do a check whether or not if it's a lightning bow. So if it's a lightning bow, we are gonna reverse its state and put it back as a normal bow. So set is lightning bow to false and enable back the sprite render, so the standard image of the bow, and stop the effect. So we are stopping the effect by lightning bow effect.gameObject.set active false. Okay, good. I think this should be enough for our lightning bow to look like a lightning bow, but it won't be enough to act like a lightning bow. One last thing before we test is to create an event. So we will have two events that we are gonna rise when our bow is becoming lightning and it's becoming a regular bow again. So one is on lightning bow enable and the other one is on lightning bow disable. And just in a couple of minutes we'll see what we're gonna use this for. Let me just invoke them in a proper place. So the first one is here in the start lightning bow method. I'll invoke it like that, and I'll also invoke the stop, the on lightning bow disable here in the stop lightning bow. Okay, we have the event. Now just one last thing that's good to remember always when you're using static events, and I think events in general, is to unsubscribe, but I'll do this later. So let me give it a try. Yeah, as you can see, it is looking as a lightning bolt. So yeah, the visuals are good. We just need to make it act like a lightning bolt. So what we need to do here is to create in our bricks class, we will need to subscribe to those events. So yeah, this thing that I mentioned about the subscription and on disable, it's for here in the bricks. So what we do here is to subscribe to those events, and once the brick is becoming lightning bolt, we will change the trigger of the brick, so it won't collide, but only will trigger. Okay. To do this, we will need a reference to the box collider. So let me get the reference for this. I'll introduce a new private field called on box collider 2D. And I'll get it in the standard way in the awake method. So this box collider is equal to this get component box collider 2D. Okay, and on lightning bow enable, we will change the collider to be only trigger. So is trigger equal to through. All right. Now the same thing, but in reverse, will be on lightning bow disable. So once the lightning bow is expiring, we are putting the trigger of the brick to be again only, not only trigger, but to have this bouncing thing. So yeah, the idea behind this is for our bow to not bounce back from the bricks once we are colliding with them. Okay, and this thing that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, it's here. So in the bricks, we are on disable, we are gonna unsubscribe from our events. So on lightning bow enable and on lightning bow disable, we subtract the events. All right, that thing that okay, let me see what is next. Yeah, so one important thing is here in the spawn bows, when we are picking this power up for multi-bow, we need to also pass a variable whether or not the new bow that we're spawning should be lightning bow or not. So we're gonna pass this variable is lightning bow, but since it's not public, we need to change it. So let me go to the bow script and change this is lightning bow field to be public, and yeah, we can go back, and now we need to modify the method to accept this property. Okay, once we have that, we can do a if check here. Once we spawn the bow, if it's a lightning bow, we will need to start the lightning bow for this new bow. So I'll just invoke spawned bow, start lightning bow. Okay, I think we can give it a try. Hopefully it will work, but probably not. So let me just give it a try. I'll just move it a little down. All right, and it's not working. So it's passing through the bricks, but it's not doing anything. And I think what is the problem? So let me go back to Visual Studio and go into the bricks, and here this is the reason why we initially extracted this logic apply collision logic. The idea is that we need to have another method on trigger enter 2D, because the one for the collision is not working once the bricks are only for collisions, and yeah, this is the fix for this problem. Let's go back and try it again, and yeah, now it's passing through all of them without bouncing off, and it's destroying everything. So I think this is the final desired result. All right, I think this kind of covers the effect that we were after it. Let me just put it here in the collectibles manager, so it's part of the whole buffs and debuffs collection. So I'll drag it like that, and yeah. All right. Now once we are done with this, once I tested this thing out, I noticed we have one issue. And the issue is that the lightning bow is not destroying bricks that have more than one hit point. And yeah, as we know, this is the expected behavior. So as you can see, it's only passing once, it's doing 1 damage, but it's not destroying the bricks that are with 2 or 3 hit points. So we need to fix this. How do we do this? We go into our brick class, and here in the apply collision logic method, when we are doing the check if our hit points have reached 0, we will also say or our bow is lightning bow. So if this will make yeah, our bow destroy everything. All right, let's give it a try with the same level that have different type of bricks, and yeah, as you can see, it's destroying everything, which is what we needed. Nice. Unfortunately, here we have another issue, which is this red no reference exception down at the bottom. So yeah, let me investigate this quickly. So yeah, it turned out that in some cases this bow object is null. So let me just create one quick check whether or not the bow is null, and if in the cases that it's not null, then we are applying this logic. So like this, and yeah, this should I think fix this issue that we had previously. And great, now our lightning bow is working as expected. It's passing through everything and it is destroying every big brick, no matter the type. And yeah, once the duration is expiring, it's returning back to normal. So yeah, this is it, guys. We had also the lightning bow. I hope you really enjoyed this series, because officially this will be the last one in the series. I might create one more for the shooting, but not sure exactly when, but I'll probably create it when I have the time. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the series, you know, you can comment down below, leave a like, and subscribe, and yeah, hopefully I'll come up with some more interesting ideas for other games, and continue making videos. So let me just one last thing is to commit my changes, and yeah, you see here the URL of the video of the GitHub account. So if you want the source code, you can just open this. It's public. I think I had to mention this from the start, but yeah, everything is public, so you can just open this URL in GitHub and see the code if something is missing. And I have also put the images from in the description, so if you need something, yeah, everything is there. And let me just add collectibles to the game, including multi-bow, paddle extended, paddle shrinking, lightning bow. So this will be the last commit, and yeah, I'll push it, git push origin master. This will push it to my repository. Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed the series. I know I did. It was pretty interesting to me. It was my first attempt to create tutorials in Unity, so, and upload YouTube videos. So yeah, see you in the next video, guys. Cheers and have a nice day. Bye.